Hello everybody, welcome to another Arkham Horror List video. Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for new players. We've been playing this game a long time, and when we first started, we sucked. I'll just say it, we weren't great. There was a lot we've learned while playing, and there's a lot that we're still learning while playing, and lately all of us have been playing with some new players for the first time. Like, lately means like in the last 2 years, but it's still a long journey to grow and get better at this game, and these are things that we've noticed while playing with new players that we want to pass on to you guys, and hopefully help you become better and win more and succeed in Arkham Horror the card game. Before I go any further, I want to quickly plug our How to Win series, which you can find in a playlist in the description down below, where we talk about a lot of these concepts that we're going to go throughout this whole series in greater depth. So if you want to really get into the nitty-gritty, go check out those links, that link down below. Let's dive in. Our first tip is play to win, don't play to not lose. So what does that mean?
That means that you need to be playing to advance your objectives and not to stall out the games. You need to be playing to get the number of clues you need to advance the agenda. You need to be playing to get to the location you need to get to. You need to be playing to kill the big monster that you need to end the scenario. What you don't want to be doing is spending a ton of actions healing yourself to keep your head above water. You don't want to spend like your entire turn or 2 turns running across the board to kill some rando cultist because he's got 1 doom on him. Like, that's not worth it. You don't want to be trying to prevent the game from winning. You want to be winning the game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that happens. It's like in every game, you gotta be proactive all the time.
Yeah, the game's objective is inevitable. Yours is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to be making your game happen. Whereas the game can just sit there and be like, cool, I'll kill you 6 turns from now. Mm-hmm. You do something to slow that down. It's like, all right, I'll get you 7 turns from now. But...
Mm-hmm. Can you guys think of any examples that you have seen that with playing with people? That's just, I think a big one is the healing. Like, healing is good, but it's not something that you want to slow down your game plan to get it done. You're going to be taking damage in horror, and you just kind of have to accept it, right? Like, I can't tell you the number of scenarios that I've gone into it near the end with 1 or 2 damage or horror remaining. And honestly, this game is pretty well designed that it kind of has, the way the scenario goes, the damage and horror you will receive is kind of scaled. Yeah, sometimes, you can just whiff and fail tests like no one else's business and lose because of that. But overall, you're pretty comfortable. I don't run healing in a lot of my decks, and because there's just better things you can do. If you play to win, you're gonna succeed quicker than the game will kill you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many actions. When I was giving our definition of it, spending your entire turn to go 2 actions and to move there, and then an action to kill a cultist that's got 1 doom on it. In a lot of cases, that's just not worth it because, what's that doom do? It takes a turn away from you. What'd you do? You spent your entire turn going to kill a cultist. Mm-hmm.
It obviously.
Except that you're down because you it's more relevant in multiplayer context. But you're still down whatever you used to kill the cultist with. Even if you used just a basic punch, you're also down. You're not down anything real, but you're down in kind of opportunity where you could have failed that test, and then you'd be so far down.
Mm-hmm. And Bryn, you were saying something?
I was gonna say that it depends how many people you have playing the game. Even if you're just playing two-handed, spending 1 player's turn to kill a cultist while the other player gets to do their thing, that's worth it.
And I think with this, it's kind of context sensitive. Say, for example, you have a cultist who just came in play, and you have 5 Doom until it advances. You don't need to drop everything you need to do to go kill that cultist right now. You can still progress the game and like make a note to kill that cultist. But say for example, it's you're 2 Doom away, a cultist gets put on like the farthest location, it's 1 Doom away. You just kind of have to be like, that cultist, he's just basically stolen a turn from us, and we just have to accept that and advance the game how we can.
Yeah, it also depends on like what the opportunity cost is. This is something we're going to get into in a future win video, but the short of it is like you could spend your 3 actions. Like if your character could spend 3 actions walking across the board to kill a cultist, or you could spend your turn getting like 4 clues. Like why would you walk across the board to get the cultist?
Yeah. And it's kind of like determining what's best in these contextual situations is where the real, like, where you're going to start, when you learn these things and start weighing things correctly, where you're going to see your success in Arkham Horror grow. Because it's honestly the hardest part of the game, is doing what's best given the situation you have at a time. That's the challenge of Arkham Horror. And our number 1 on this list, which we'll get to. Let's go to our next one, though. Let's go on to ensure your deck has economy cards. So what do we mean by that? What are economy cards?
Well, you don't want to spend...
You go.
Yeah, sorry, go for it. All right. You don't want to spend your actions getting cards or resources one at a time, if you can avoid it. You want to play cards that will allow you to play your own game plan, but still be able to have the necessary pieces to play next turn too. Like, for example, emergency cash. You can get a pile of resources right now, and it costs you less than the 3 actions that it would take to just pick them up.
As well, like, drawing cards is good because in this game, it's a campaign system, so as your deck gets better, you're going to have bigger, flashier cards in it. And you're going to want to make sure that your deck has built-in card draw and resource production, so not only can you find those cards, but you can play those cards. If you have a bunch of exciting things, but you can't draw them or play them, you don't get to have fun and play those exciting things and see the power that they can contain. I don't think there's anything else. Travis, you have anything to add, or is that pretty much covers it?
No.
Sick. Let's go on to our next one, which is don't be afraid of failing. This is probably the thing I have seen the most when I've played with new players, is that they're scared of losing. Even when it comes to just a simple Mythos card, because by the very nature of the game, say there are 15 turns, you're going to have 15 tests that you're going to have to face, roughly, right? Like it just say there was nothing else, but you're just drawing 1 Mythos card a turn, right? You're not going to succeed all of those tests, and that's okay, right? So, like, sometimes a test is going to come, and you're just going to be like, I'm probably going to fail this, and I'm going to take it. I'm not going to commit any cards. I'm just going to go in 3-3 and hope for the best, and if I fail, that's okay. Because it's this... If you're spending your cards and your resources on tests that ultimately aren't hurting you that much, when the tests that come up that are important for you to win, you're going to not pass them, and you're going to lose. Because you spent your resources on a test that you were scared of failing, because failing generally in a game is bad. We're taught that failing is a bad thing, but when you're given so many tests in this game, it's just normal to expect to fail them, so like, it just happens.
Yeah, I notice that a lot too with the people I play with, where like quite often I'll be holding an enemy, and I've taught them that like, yeah, they understand that attacking an enemy, if you fail a test, then like the investigator that's engaged with takes the damage, unless you're attacking a monster you're engaged with. And I'll be like, yeah, just like kill it. And they're like, but what if I draw the auto fail? Like, I don't care. It's like a 1/17 chance. You know, if it happens, it happens. Mm-hmm. Like, if we spent every turn avoiding that possible, then like we'd be so far behind.
Yeah, I think one of the best ways to get past this is play a green character and then choose not to include any cards that have brain symbols on them in your deck. You might lose, but you might not. It's a good way to get used to the idea of having to accept that some tests just aren't going to be passed.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that why when Stella was released, she is such a good character for new players, is because she teaches you that failing's going to happen, and in her case, you benefit from it. So then in the future, you're gonna learn that when you fail a test, the world's not going to end, right? You've taken one horror, right? But like when you're just starting out, that one horror, you don't know how to weigh that against the whole course of the game, right? And like that's why it's scary to fail when you're just starting out. But we just now shoot into each other willy-nilly.
Die. They're like, oh, I don't want my character to die. I don't think they have it quite ingrained that, like, you know, if your character, it's scenario 6 or 7 in a campaign, your character has like 8 or 9 health. Who cares if you get a physical trauma?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you win the game, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like you just do it.
Yeah, and then I think as well, like, one thing that I have gone on a personal journey with throughout this game is that now, like, when I draw the auto fail on a test, apart from those moments where you get the classic Justin reaction where I shout and scream in absolute bewilderment, a lot of the times just like, oh, dang, that sucks, right? Like, that's all it is. Because ultimately, you're just playing a game, and sometimes, by the very nature of its design, the auto-fail token is there to just give you those aw shucks moments. So you can just be like, dang, easy come, easy go, right?
Yeah, you got a couple of your recent Forgotten Age videos where you get pretty salty.
Oh my god, my Wendy Adam. I don't even want to talk. I have discovered very quickly that I do not enjoy true solo.
90-degree tilt, man.
Yeah, I was angry in those ones. And that was actually recorded only last month. So it's also okay to get salty while you play the game. Just don't give that experience to each other. Like, we don't yell at each other when we play this game, or like, even when I'm playing with a new person, if they're doing something that like I view as suboptimal, I'm not like over their shoulder being like, hey, don't fucking do that, right? Like, live the mistakes, enjoy the sometimes how this game just likes to kick you in the face when you're down, right? Just enjoy it.
Yeah, like, I don't tell them not to do, the people I play with, not to do things unless it's gonna like lose us the campaigin or like the scenario or something like that.
Like you're holding an
or
enemy.
I'll tell them like this needs to happen this turn. One of you needs to deal with this.
Yeah.
I'll explain to them like the consequences of what they will do, but let them make the decision themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes we do yell at each other. Sometimes I yell at Bryn, but it's good natured. She deserves it sometimes.
Sometimes.
As you guys will see, we've talked about it a lot on our channel, but our upcoming Return to Forgotten Age, that was salty Travis in that one.
It's not totally unfair.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is the core set skill cards are better than you think. I think, Bryn, you suggested this one, so I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, and this is so I've been playing this game since it came out. And this is still something that I need to tell myself when I am building a deck. And that is that the basic core set skills, Unexpected Courage, Manual Dexterity, Perception, Guts, and Overpower, all deserve a place in my deck if they relate to something that I'm trying to do. Unexpected Courage in particular, like that card never disappoints.
Neither does Guts.
Guts sometimes disappoints. I play a lot of green characters.
Okay, fine.
There are definitely worlds where I don't want it, but yeah, like most of the time, Guts does not disappoint. That card is one of the best colorless cards in the game. Even with the full collection, it's one of the best colorless cards in the game.
Yeah.
But
those basic core set skills, they're not exciting, they're not cool, but they do just sit in your deck and quietly help you get the job done.
And it's also because like when you're just starting out, they're not exactly flashy, right? They read so boring, but they'll make you fail less, and they replace themselves when you're successful. If you're successful, of course, you could just fail, but if you fail, c'est la vie, right? That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those cards always deserve you should have a reason that you aren't playing them.
Yeah. All right.
At least not all of them, but the ones that pertain to what your guy wants.
Yeah,
to do.
you don't put all
Yeah.
8 or all 10 in your deck. All 10 in your deck. You don't do that.
Yeah, like no, you don't need to put like manual decks into a Mark Harrigan deck, for example.
Yeah, but like if you're
Yeah,
like
as
I'm
a
gonna be
general rule, you're going to be playing like Guts and either Overpower, Perception, or manual decks, and then probably to like maybe for Unexpected Courage.
Yeah. For me, what I usually do is I usually do Guts, and then Unexpected Courage usually goes in, and then like sometimes like especially like with the Dunwich Investigators, when you have 5 and you need another one of, I usually put one of the double skills in my deck that I need to be using. It's nice for that because they're usually always good, especially in multiplayer because you can help your friends. All right. Our number 1. This is a tip for new players, old players, and even us. Read the fucking card.
Every time.
Yeah, like, and we're not like
literally every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we're
This
not.
one isn't even
you
Arkham,
know what
like
it
just
does.
any card game you play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're gonna pretend that we don't do this. We go to any of our videos and you'll see someone being like, "Dude, what are you doing? This card does not do that." And then we're like, "Oh, dang." It's just
Yeah.
No, we look at a card in our hand, we're like, wow, I've never actually read this card before.
Yeah.
It does this too.
Yeah. Like, and just read it. Read the card. Read the card every time. Everything. Because there's going to be a lot, and a lot of the questions that you're going to have answered are just there solved by reading the card. And then when you know the cards, you can come watch our videos and laugh at us for not reading the card. Because we don't a lot.
Yep. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just know what the cards do, but we don't.
Yeah, it is our big. We're very guilty of that. Just being like, we've played these cards dozens of times. Of course, we know what it does. And then it's like, oh, that card does that. That's crazy. Sick. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to be back for another list video next week. We'll be also revisiting this series. So if you have any tips for new players, let us know in the comments below, and I will steal them and then make a video about it and laugh maniacally. Because that's what YouTubers do.
I've seen him do it.
Yeah, he's seen me do it. They both seen me just laugh maniacally, being like, look at all this content. Look at it. No, but please comment, recommend list videos. We love hearing you guys and reading all of your comments on our videos. So keep them coming. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.